Hi, guys, and welcome back to the MedSpa Growth and Profitability Show. I am joined by Ian Garlic, one of our most favorite guests and one of my good friends. So thanks for joining us again, Ian.
April, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. And I am super excited to have you on because you just launched your first book, which I'm excited to tell everybody about. Video testimonials that land the big fish. I know our audience, if they watched your last podcast or if they saw you speak at one of my events, we don't like video testimonials. We love those video case stories. So I want to dive into everything in between. But first, before we get started, I forgot to, the people that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about your background and who you are?
Sure. I've been working in video marketing for about 15 years. I worked with all sorts of professionals. We started when YouTube was purchased by Google. I'm like, this is going to transform everything. That was 15 years ago. And since then, we've worked with, healthcare, legal, across the board, Inc. 500, Fortune 50 companies, coaches, consultants, lots of big name authors too. And really, we do an entire video strategy, but we found that starting with customer stories, starting with client stories is the way to go. And that's why we've really evolved into videocasestory.com, which is our main business. And why I wrote this book, because it's a fundamental of every aspect of video marketing. And video marketing, especially if you're in a visual field like a med spa, is absolutely crucial.
Yeah. And I think at this point, most of the audience knows that video marketing is super important, but I don't think the audience really understands that they should also have a YouTube channel. They should not just be posting those TikTok videos or those reels. They should also be putting very strategic information and strategic videos on YouTube. So we are going to talk a little bit about that today and how really those video case stories is not just your video testimonial and somebody saying how great you are, but really a whole marketing strategy behind it, which you teach in your book.
YouTube is absolutely critical. And probably everyone on this goes to it, but I was just talking to, someone who was 34 marketing director and like, I never go to websites. I only go to social media and mainly YouTube to learn things, to explore things. And that's across the board. We have clients that are landing massive companies and the companies are going to their YouTube channel. And if anyone under, my son's 9 years old, that's where he spends all of his time. YouTube's not going away. And for every minute they spend on your website and social media, they're spending 10, 15 minutes researching you on YouTube.
Without a doubt. And that's how you're going to stand apart from your competition, guys, because I know you're probably thinking, I'm a local business. People want to come in and just check out what I have on my website for Botox or for sculpting or whatever it is. But you are going to show up as the expert in your industry and as the expert amongst your local competition. And if you have these type of videos that we're going to be talking about today. So I want you to keep an open mind. And I know most of you don't even like doing video, but there's very important reason why you should. And we want people to be able to find you a lot easier. And the way to do that is with video. So Ian, can you tell us the difference between actually, let me start off by saying, yes, we want testimonials and we know we should be asking for testimonials, but there's a difference between a testimonial and a video testimonial. And then there's a difference between a video testimonial and a video case story. So can you tell us the difference between a video testimonial and a video case story?
It's a testimonial. If you ask someone for a testimonial, April asks someone for testimonial, the inclination is someone's going to talk about April, right? And they're going to talk about how great April is. They're going to talk about how great April's services, great April's results are. And we're kind of inoculated to that. We see so much of that hype and we're going to ignore it. We see so much information and there's no story in it. And we think in stories, we need emotion in stories. We buy with emotion. There's a lot of science in my book. It's a video testimonials that land the big fish. It is a system. But there's a lot of science that goes behind everything that we've done. We've done a lot of studies, and one of my favorite authors is Dr. Paul Zak, and he gives great endorsement for the book. But the fact is that you need that narrative arc. You need those emotions, and emotions are what drive people's decision making. And you're not going to get that with a testimonial. With a video case story, it tells someone's story of who they are, what their problem was, what the transformation was, what they wanted, what they went through, and how they felt on the other side. And this process really gets those emotions out. And just to dive really deep, really quick into the science, Paul did a ton of research. I mean, millions of people research because he's developed a new technology that can do it through smartwatches. And the emotion is so critical that it can make the difference between a campaign working and a campaign not. And the timing of the emotion is absolutely critical. And it seems like really fluffy, but there's a lot of science behind it. And you're never going to get that with a testimonial. Someone might be like, oh, April's great, but it's not gonna be like, oh my God, my life was falling apart before I met April, or my business was falling apart before I met April, right? It's not gonna happen that way. And that's why storytelling and video case stories are so critical to a business.
And especially in the aesthetic space, we want your prospective patient, your prospective client to put themselves in the shoes of the person that's talking or giving that case story, that where maybe they're saying, was so frustrated. I've had enough. I was so embarrassed to be intimate with my husband because of the way I look, or I didn't even want to go out in public. When friends invited me out for dinner, I turned them down because I really didn't like the way my skin looked. I had bad acne and all of these things. And I went into whatever med spa, and the different pieces that Ian put together, is going to walk them through this journey. And at the end, this is how I feel. Now I have a great social life. Now I am not afraid, and I don't put on a ton of makeup to cover up all of these things. And that person sitting at home now watching this video is like, wow, I feel that same way too. I turned down my friends last week. Look where she is now. I want to be there. And that is how important it is. And that's how it really relates down to your particular service. And you should have many of these type of things for almost all of your services, right, Ian?
Oh, 100%. The stories, the video case stories are also woven throughout the rest of your videos too. Like you're mentioning, what's the process of walking in the door? What's this going to be like? What are my big questions? And you can weave client stories throughout that and answer those stories. And also when you go through this process, you're going to find those questions. You're going to find those emotions. You're going to find those positioning statements that are going to improve the rest of your videos, right? And it shouldn't just be video case stories. You need to have things like a process video. They want to know who you are, about us videos. They want to know who's working with them, bio videos. They want to know how each of the services is going to work. And a process video for each of those. What is it going to be like to walk through the door for the first time? All that's nerve-wracking. And the more you can answer those questions, the faster that they're going to purchase from you, the faster they're going to become a client. And also, the more current clients are going to be reinforced that they want to work with you and continue to work with you. They're going to feel like they're a part of it.
Absolutely. And I know one of the hesitations some of my med spa clients have had on asking people to do these case stories for them is that they think that people don't want to share their story and don't want to show people their before and afters and things like that. But what we found is that really that's something that's in the head of the med spa owner, and people really want to share. They want to share how great their results are, and they want to talk about how wonderful you are.
Yeah, there's going to be some people that don't want to share. There's just people like that. There's a lot. I mean, I have a friend out there who, just lost a ton of weight, showing his before and after pictures. He's not selling anything to anyone. Super excited about it, right? That people want to show themselves feeling great in that transformation and talk about that transformation. Plus, if you're the one providing that transformation, they like to help you and they want to help other people, right? It's not, this comes back to the story part and transformation. Best stories are emotional and have transformation, right? And if they have that, they want to provide that for someone else, right? They don't care if it's, cool sculpting or injections or whatever. They want that person to feel that transformation too, and they want them to be a part of it. And they're willing to do it. Now, you just have to get in the habit of asking and asking the right way. Would you share your story? Not for a testimonial. I mean, a lot of people give testimonials, but that story and how you ask it, preparing, asking, interviewing people is so important, and they will do it.
I love that you mentioned that part of it, that the interview part is so important, because a lot of times when you ask somebody just for a testimonial, they want to give you one too, but then they have to think about what to say and they don't want to say the wrong thing. And then they're always going to say the wrong thing. It's not going to be this type of thing. It's going to be how great you are. But you can actually take some pressure off their plate by saying, hey, listen, it's just going to be a casual interview. We can do it on Zoom, or we can, next time you come in the office, or so on. But it could be something that actually takes the pressure off of them to provide a testimonial, believe it or not.
Oh yeah. And what's amazing is I think it's probably been since the last time we talked is Zoom has transformed everyone, right? Everyone's used to Zoom now. And it becomes this like confessional, and people are so open, and it's like 15 minutes. I can hop on Zoom for 15 minutes and talk. I'm on Zoom all day. Why not? And it makes it super easy. And it's just like, hey, I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your story. Plus, that allows you to have a conversation. And when we can tell when there's a conversation going on, and that's what a referral is. It's just someone sharing their story with a good friend. And that's why that interview is so important.
So can we talk more about the strategy behind the videos and like the strategy that you walk through in the book?
Yeah, sure. So the strategy behind the videos is, first of all, obviously knowing your goals. I go deep into that because you want to know who you want to work with. And a lot of people haven't, I'm sure you have this too, they haven't sat down and go, this is who I want to work with. This is who I want coming through the door. I know exactly who this person is. So really thinking through that and thinking through their stories and what differentiates you, because I mean, honestly, a lot of med spas provide the same service, right? And there's probably 20 of them within a major metro within a few miles, but what's going to differentiate your positioning? And when you talk through the stories, you will find it. What's your level of service, maybe the quality of the outcomes, then maybe it's convenience. Those are all just words. So we need to look and find those stories and go through those stories. But then as we're doing that, we will find keywords and we will find other things that we want to optimize this video for. And so when we do that, now we've thought through that entire strategy. So when we go to interview, we're looking to pull that information out of the client. And that's why the interview process is so important, because we've strategized. Imagine if you were on trial. I've worked with a lot of attorneys, but imagine your business, you're in this massive business litigation, you're about to go in and the big witness is about to come on stand, and your attorney just sends up a paralegal with a list of questions and hands it to that person. You'd be pretty upset. But that's what you're doing. Your customer stories, your client stories are your number one thing. So you've got to strategize ahead of time. What are the questions I want to ask? What are the answers I want to get? And how are we going to guide them there? And then once we guide them there and we've collected that story, we come back and look and see all that information we have, because there's always great quotes in there, hooks. If you're a marketing expert, you know what? There's nothing more important than that hook. That is what's going to grab someone's attention. There's so much things battling for attention. So we're going to find those hooks, those positioning angles, and make multiple videos and go, hey, you know what? We should make there's an FAQ in this, right? Or this is a problem, another problem that we solved. Or, I think this is a perfect example. We had a client who was really big in customer service, and we were interviewing one of their clients, and they said, watch this. And they called up the owner, and the owner answered on video and said, hey, how can I help you? Right. And I'm not saying you have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the things that you find. And then we create a keyword strategy around that, because people are exposed to your brand over 500 times, according to Google, if it's a complex decision like med spas, right? Any of these procedures, they're doing tons of research. So you want to be there over and over and over again, not just with customer stories, but with other videos, because the more they're exposed to that brand, we think about that entire journey, and the more they hear your voice, see your face, see the faces of the people that you work with, the more likely they are going to work with you, the faster they're going to decide. And I get this all the time. And we talked about it before, but almost every one of my clients says, if someone spent time on my YouTube channel, there's no questions about working with us. And that's because
most people, like, once they see the one video, they're just going to binge watch your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
As well. And then you're instantly that expert in their mind, and there's no one else to go to. So,
and And I think that's what's important about YouTube. It can act like a website. And I think your website's important as an authority piece, but they want to explore your business outside of your business. And YouTube kind of feels like that. It makes it easy the way it's laid out. You can lay out all the information like a website. And like I said, you can binge the information, but unlike any other channel, like TikTok, you still have to scroll. You might be able to go to their, but if like there's something specific you're looking for on TikTok, you're not finding it on that TikTok page.
Yeah.
That's the closest one to YouTube. Twitter, you can go through their Twitter feed, but you're not finding the information you want. So I think this is absolutely crucial for people to understand, because people will spend 20, 30 minutes on your YouTube channel. And this is anyone will spend 20, 30 minutes on your YouTube channel, where the average time on site is 3 minutes tops.
And think about if you are Googling something. I just had a cool peel for the first time, and it's taking like my face a little bit longer to, like, it feels like sandpaper for a few days, and it's still feeling like that now. So if you guys are watching and you see my face all bumpy, that's why. I was searching, when can I exfoliate my face after a cool peel? And I would so much rather watch a YouTube video than go to a website and read down. So people are going to want to click on that video before going to your website as well. And one of the greatest, I learned a lot from you over the years that we've been friends, but one of the biggest things that I've learned from you is that we can overcome any objection with these type of videos. And so when they actually come in for a consultation for our business, when a medical spa books a consultation with my team, they already know that they want to work with us because we've overcome those objections through the videos. And how we've done that is through the case stories, for instance, where we're asking them, were you a little hesitant before you walked into so-and-so med spa? What made you decide to, and I don't know how you answer these questions, but however you did it is brilliant. And this is why we love them, because they talked about any kind of objection that people have and how we're not trying to overcome their objection. The actual patient is overcoming their objection because that was their objection. And now here's their outcome because they decided to go through. So that was one of the best things that I've learned from you. And it definitely helped us close a lot of business, helped our clients close a lot of business, but it's just how you put it into the marketing strategy and how you place it on your website or on YouTube as well.
Yeah. And you said something really important there when you're talking about, researching because you had some bumps after the procedure. This is one of the things when we go through the client journey, we're making videos, buyer's remorse. Every business has it, but especially when you're in a medical procedure, you have all these questions afterwards running through your head. Should I have done this? What's this mean? Why do I have a headache? Should I feel tired? Why does my skin look this way? And if you're addressing those things right afterwards and you're emailing those videos out like, hey, here's some things to know about it. And you have not just you saying it as a professional, but like you said, a client saying, like, this is what happened afterwards, but like 2 weeks later, my skin looked great. They're not only going to be happier now, but they're going to be much happier in the long run. And, like less questioning and more likely to book that next consultation.
Absolutely. So what are some of I know you touched on a little bit, but can we recap some of the most important videos that you think people should get started with if they don't have any yet?
Number one is video case stories. Go through the process, get the book. You can go to testimonialbook.com/medspa. There's a bunch of extra bonuses in there that we're going to put in there for you, including a thing like the case story tackle box, because that tackle box, we call it that because it's a place to keep all your stories. So now you go to make these other videos. I think, your About Us video, they want to know who you are. Once they say, okay, they can do this, they want to know why you're great, how you became great. They want to hear other people talking about you more. Your About Us page is going to be your second most used page on your website. You have great videos there because they want to know, like, and trust you at this point. And that way, when they walk through the door, they feel like, oh man, I've been, talking to this med spa owner, I feel like forever.
Instead of just going to the page right now that has everybody's bio, like very clinical type bio, versus a great video of why you decided to open the med spa and how you want to change people's lives.
Yeah. And if you do have extensive education, you have to explain it to these people, right? Most people don't know what a nurse practitioner is. Most people don't know that you have what these levels of education mean. That's great, but they need to understand it. You can explain that to them. You explain to them why you do what you do, what you love about it. So that, and your favorite outcomes. We have a bunch of questions that we do. So that one's critical. And bio videos are important, but not just like, hey, I love making people look great. It's like a little story, and it's 90 seconds for them to encounter it. Because I don't go to med spas a lot, but I've been in the cosmetic dentist a few times, and I can tell you, I know all those people in there, but it's so overwhelming when you're there that you're like, who's this? Who's this? Who's this? And it's nice to know them ahead of time, and then also kind of know them afterwards, so you feel comfortable. So those about us / bio videos, super important. Your process video. People need to know what's going to happen. They want to know every step of the process. And this does a few things. It overcomes objections, but also, like, when you weave stories in there, it gives you a way to say, this is the reason we do this, because of this outcome. And then it future paces people. Lets them think about, like, oh, I've been through this, right? The best athletes in the world future pace themselves through going down the track or playing golf. And that's the same thing you do for your clients. So when they walk through, they're like, oh, I got this. They don't want to feel like an idiot, right? And sometimes we feel that way if we don't know what to go. It's like, what door do I go through? Even as simple as that. What forms do I sign? What's going to happen? Who are you? Who do I talk to? Answer all those questions.
To understand that to your patient and to you, these processes or even terminology is second nature. And sometimes to the client, it's so overwhelming that it's real. The process videos are so important for every treatment. Even if somebody comes in and they know that they want lip filler because they've seen some amazing before and afters, but maybe they're afraid it's going to hurt, or maybe they're not sure if, what the process is like. What we want to do is, when you walk through a door, you're going to be greeted by so-and-so. And like, I know Ian has a great layout for the process video, and he talks about it in the book, which I absolutely love. But Ian's recorded process videos for our own for my companies as well. But they want to know, you're going to sit in a chair. We're going to put some numbing on your lips. You're going to sit there for about 15 minutes or however long, and you're going to walk them through this entire thing. And then here's what to expect after. So now they feel so much more at ease and so much more comfortable compared to going to somebody else's page. And it's just, hey, book your appointment now, and we'll see you when you come in type thing.
Exactly. You make them feel good about themselves. And make them feel good about what's happening. Like you said, 15 minutes. Like, if you told me that 15 minutes ahead of time, I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm waiting 15 minutes. If I didn't know that, I'm like, did they forget about me? It's been 12 minutes, right? And so I think that's absolutely crucial. And it's crucial for every business. That's beyond, I think even an ice cream business should be like, here's how we go buy ice cream, right? But med spas there's all these different procedures, and it's going to make people feel so much more comfortable and so much more ease, make them decide faster.
Absolutely. We have all the videos in the tackle box, and you have all of these great resources. But then on our side, as a marketing agency, we want to take all of these pieces and use them in our marketing funnels. So let's say we're showing people your ads for body contouring, and they're interested, but they haven't booked that consultation yet. Well, maybe we want to show them a case story, or maybe we want to show them a video from you saying, hey, we noticed you've been checking out body contouring, but you probably have one of these 3 questions, and kind of go over some of the ones that you hear people asking all the time. That is something that we find really converts well and actually gets them to book that consult. But there's a very strategic way that they should be placed throughout your funnels, throughout your websites. You have a great YouTube strategy. So what I want everybody, the biggest takeaway from here is, I want people to understand that videos are more important than ever, and actually using them the right way is what's going to set you apart from any competition that is out there.
Yeah. And quick side note, and I say this to every healthcare professional, like the gross stuff, like injections and back cracking and whatever, will get views because there's people that are attracted to it. But remember this, that only 10% of people are really gonna say that's okay. Up 70 to 80% of people are afraid of all that stuff. So don't show that stuff. You can talk about it. They don't want to see the injection. They want to see the before and after. Like you said, like, oh, we're gonna make your lips feel good with the numbing. I cannot stress this enough to you all, and it will have
So glad you said that.
yeah, because I worked with a cosmetic dentist. You know, you don't want to show an extracted tooth. You don't want to show, like, you'll want to show before, yes, and after, and some, you know, how some of the stuff works, but you do not want to really get deep into the technicals of the procedure as much as what the patient's going to experience. Like, hey, you're just going to lay down and, you know, and numb you, and then you're going to feel a little bit of a prick, and that's fine. And it'll be done in just 30 seconds or whatever. There you go. That's it.
I'm so glad you said that, because I actually had a few deep conversations with my clients about this, because they really do believe that people want to see the actual procedure, like the PDO threads and, you know, it going into the face and pulling up. The people that do want to see it, there are that small percentage, and the majority of them are other practitioners. There are other people that are doing it. So you will get some views, but it's not going to be your ideal client. Someone like me, I want to get everything done, but I do not want to watch it. I will actually move past it because I don't want to know that stuff's going to happen to me. I just want it to happen. So I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I'll literally pass out. So.
I had the privilege of listening to the book ahead of time, and I think it's brilliant to see if people actually listen to it, because he didn't tell me that he mentions me in the book until I listened and I noticed. So I like that you did that, but I can't believe how much great info you shared, which you always share amazing info with our audience, but really, people, if you read the book or listen to the book, you don't need to work with Ian. You can do a lot of this stuff on your own. Hopefully they work with you as well, but you provided pretty much the entire roadmap for them to create amazing videos. Is there anything that the audience should know about the book? Hopefully we can help you get to the bestseller list right away.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I mean, this book, it's essentially a textbook. I've developed this stuff over 15 years. It's going to be a book that you can use and reuse and reuse. I'm going to be publishing some other books on the other smaller aspects of it, like the About Us video and process video, getting deeper into it. I want everyone to be able to use this in their business. I think video case stories will help everyone, and the process of listening to their customer stories not only help grow your business, but help you provide better service. And that's what I want you to do. Do I want you to work with us? Of course, but I want you to realize that when you work with us, you're working with the best, and you want someone who knows these processes inside out and wants to make the absolute best thing for you. But until then, until you can work with us, you can go do it yourself. It's just, I mean, like, I'll tell you, like, publishing my book, I know how to do everything. I still hired a ton of different people because I'm like, this is just work I'm not good at and I don't want to do.
That's a professional product at the end.
Exactly. You can learn how to do everything on the internet, but there's little nuanced stuff that is going to make the huge difference. I'll tell you this, though, the interviewing part is absolutely crucial. Make sure to read through that and developing the questions, but read through the strategy piece and then that, because that will transform the story that you'll get. So I'll just give you a little highlight there. What's
the link again that people can go and purchase the book? And I know we have some bonuses for them as well.
Yeah, testimonialbook.com/medspa. You know, we're going to be giving you a few free workshops. You'll get access to the tackle box. You'll get access to the 11x referral maximizer. This is 11 places that put case stories out 11 times your referrals. Just massively increase the amount of referrals and you get and close. You get the tackle box, and also 50 ways to use case stories in other types of marketing, especially if you're doing trade shows or you're doing any type of event marketing, email marketing. And of course, there's a deep YouTube section because that's where I live and breathe.
I love it. And guys, again, my own companies, we've worked with Ian, and we actually just scheduled a whole nother video shoot with him because we get results, and it always maximizes our ROI when we work with him. And we also suggest that most of our clients work with him as well. It's just really amazing, the final product that you see after everything's done. So thank you for always being a great friend of the show, a great friend to me. And I know we're going to see you at the next Aesthetic Empire Mastermind. So I'm excited for that.
I'm excited too. Thanks, April.
If you're thinking about opening an aesthetic practice, or if you're just starting out, then this isn't for you. However, if you've been in business and your practice is generating $500,000 a year or more in gross revenue, then pay attention because I'm going to help you scale it by 10x or more. It's very easy to get sucked into that day-to-day operations of your business. You might find yourself working the front desk, giving consultations, dealing with everything from customer service to training employees, but rarely taking that step back to look at your business as a whole. As a result, it's very difficult to gain traction in your business and really break through to that next level of 7 or even 8 figures. And if you're like most aesthetic practice owners, you are so excited to finally open your doors because you absolutely love everything about the aesthetic industry and you are so passionate about what you do and the incredible transformations you provide for your patients. But now, you may secretly be resenting your business and no longer find it enjoyable at all. Listen, I get it. You're too busy wearing all the hats and filling in all the gaps to chart the course that will really take your business to a true, sustained, then scalable profitability. And if we're being honest, this is most likely causing other areas of your life to suffer too. Your health, your relationships, and of course, your bank account. If this is starting to sound a little too familiar, I want to take a moment to tell you about the Aesthetic EMPIRE Mastermind. The Aesthetic EMPIRE Mastermind is your opportunity to take that step back and actually lay the blueprint and make the decisions that will be the difference between just surviving and truly building an empire while you become recognized as the go-to authority in the aesthetic space. During our time together, we'll cover techniques and strategies you need to move from feeling like an employee in your own business to owning your true role as CEO. You will also be learning from other successful aesthetic business owners who have built highly profitable businesses. And I'm going to teach you exactly what we do to grow our businesses, to become better leaders, and to get consistent leads and patients into your facility. Plus, I'll teach you proven strategies to improve your patient retention, increase your sales and transactions so that you could build a profitable business that serves your ideal lifestyle. You'll learn exactly what you need to create a sustainable stream of high-quality patients, how to promote, market, and automate your business so your practice stands out even in the most crowded markets. You'll even learn how to create multiple streams of income to keep your bottom line growing. If you think the Aesthetic EMPIRE Mastermind might just be the right fit for you, and if your business is generating more than $500,000 in gross revenue, then please accept my personal invitation to apply to be a part of this exclusive mastermind. It's time for more patients, more revenue, more impact, and more results.